Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and today I have with me Aaron Ammar, co-founder and CEO at Briteside. Aaron, thank you for joining me today. This is
Yeah.
the second time we do the beginning. For the viewers won't get to see the first one because this is the very last episode that I'm recording on the road. So this is a random hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. Tomorrow we are moving into our new apartment in Atlanta after we've been digital nomads for about a year. So very excited to be here. And I haven't recorded, as I was telling you, I haven't recorded for a while because I had a big backlog of episodes. So Aaron, first of all, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Oh, it's my pleasure. Really appreciate you having me on, Tony.
Awesome. And according to LinkedIn, you are in Houston.
That's correct.
We are recording March 4th, so I'm guessing Houston is not yet a giant ball of fire when it comes to the weather.
Not yet right now. It's actually been beautiful weather around this area. It started to heat up around the June, July timeframe. So it's coming. That fireball is coming, but right now we're really enjoying it as we speak.
Fantastic. So we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Briteside?
Yeah, for sure. So Brightside's an AI insurance management tool, and very candidly, I'd say the pain points of managing insurance firsthand from a lot of my prior lives, and really from managing kind of multi-million-dollar insurance programs to interacting with hundreds and thousands of brokers over the years. Right now, we realize that with the use of AI, we could really use AI to be able to manage insurance so much easier. And so right now, Brightside is focused on the independent agency channel as a whole to really be able to make brokers and agents' lives easier as a whole. So imagine you're able to take any sort of insurance document, upload it up into Brightside, and quite literally talk to it. Upload quotes, binders, policies, you name it. And you could ask anything from what are the limits of my policies, to write a summary for me, to ask it potential claim scenarios as a whole. You can put a couple of documents side by side, and at the click of a button, you could say, compare these documents, and in seconds, you'll be able to have back a lot of different answers. So right now, what we're trying to do is free up the independent agency channel as a whole, free up their time so that they can ultimately drive more revenue, and at the end of the day, increase their efficiency much more as well.
Okay. Whew. Okay. I'm a former claims adjuster. I've never been an independent agent. Now I was a very entry-level claims adjuster. So I did a year in the claims call center, where I did have where I did get a little bit of experience, and then I did a year in MedPay claims, MedPay BI. So I never went too deep into claims. Then I was an underwriter, but as a claims adjuster, we would get calls, especially in the call center, basically saying, "Hey, would this be covered?" Right? And we were instructed that the answer was, "Well, it depends. If it has happened, you should file a claim, and the adjuster will figure out if it's covered. No, nothing has happened. Hypothetically, would this be covered?" Sometimes even the agents would call and say, "Hypothetically, would this be covered?" And the answer was, once the claims happens, then the adjuster will read the policy, right? So what I was saying is that particular question really scared me, because yeah, like you're looking at the policy, but will the policy be interpreted in the same way that the AI system thinks it'll be interpreted? So that's a whole kind of worms. So let's start with the simple stuff. Okay. So I've never been an independent agent, but my understanding of independent agents is they deal with 15, 20, 30, 40 different companies. And if you're talking commercial lines, hundreds of forms, right? And they have a responsibility to make sure that you're getting the right coverage, right? And if let's say that you're insured with Nationwide, and I move you, whether you're an existing client or a new client, I convince you to move to Liberty, and then a claim happens that would have been covered by the Nationwide form, but not by the Liberty form, and I didn't let you know that you were losing coverage. That's can be a big deal. So I can definitely see how being able to ask questions and being able to compare complex policies is definitely super useful for agents. So I'm kind of all over the place. Let's kind of back up. How did this happen? How like what is the origin story for
Yeah.
Brightside?
Yeah. So the origin story, let's start back at kind of really the beginning, and let's just start with the name itself, Brightside. I called it Brightside, and in tandem with my wife and I came up with the name because we believe that fundamentally that there is a bright side to managing insurance. And whether or not the majority of America or the world really believes and or understands that, I fundamentally do believe that there is a bright side to managing insurance. And it really all started back again in prior lives where I've been in the industry now for a while, and really everything from underwriting to broking to starting up and then prior company before we ultimately got bought by the Hartford as well, is really the nuances of insurance and being able to use AI to make it easier. And so I sat back and said to myself, I'm pulling up documents all the time, doing a control F, hunting the document, go read it, right? And that's how I'll do it. And that's how the industry's done it. And I realized that that works. I can still find my solution, but I know that I can be more efficient using AI. So I always start with the concept of AI is not gospel, but it's something to be able to help supplement your efforts. If it can make me materially more efficient, why would I not look to embrace this right now as we speak? And so if it can help me get so much further along that I would have been able to go in and read the policy, well, then let me go ahead and do that. And so right now we can take what oftentimes takes minutes, hours, days, and genuinely condense it into seconds. So when I managed all of these insurance programs in the past before, I said to myself, there's got to be a better way to be able to manage this using AI, and set out to solve it. So I've teamed up with my co-founder, Tom, and we've now set out to build an AI solution to be able to solve a lot of different pain points and challenges that the insurance industry really faces. We're talking about the independent agency channel as a whole, but you brought up claims to be able to do this, and we're easily able to work with claims adjusters as well too, right? And so right now it's just one of those avenues that we're kind of going down a channel as we speak to be able to try to have some direct application, and then it's almost like a wheel. We'll kind of spoke off from there shortly thereafter.
Okay.
So it's an endless opportunity. And Tony, we could do something a little different too. I could probably even show you it in action right now in 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Yes, go ahead. We every once in a while, yeah, share your screen, show me.
Hey, that's awesome. So why don't we go ahead and do this? I just logged into a demo account right here. And so now that it's coming up onto the screen, this is the backside of Brightside. Here, this is our Brightside assistant, our AI assistant. I've actually already uploaded and pre-populated a couple policies in here. This is a standard landlord liability policy. And what I'll do is I'll just ask it to tell me what the limits are of this policy. So I click that, and now it's going through and it's searching this entire document. And so what you'll see is you'll have the document on the right-hand side. And then what's happening as we speak right now is that it is parsing through the entire document to pull back the relevant information for me from this document right here as we speak. So again, I could have gone through this, tried to parse through a lot of this different information, and I would have been able to find it, but this just now did it in a matter of seconds. You can see right down here as well too that I could be able to click on any one of these reference items, and then it would pull me to where it actually says that in the document as well. We also include some different related questions down here so for folks to be able to ask it if they don't know exactly what question to ask afterwards. And now we can be able to understand what's going on in this policy. The other thing that you may find interesting too is I can just now click two of these and I'll say compare the limits in a table format. And now it's now actually reading both policies as we speak. And now these are two separate policies, but imagine you had a quote from this year and a quote from last year, right? Or a policy from this year and a policy from last year, and you want to be able to compare the differences. Tony, you mentioned it. If you were switching over from one carrier to the other, how would I be able to understand those actual differences? Well, right now you literally see it as we speak in a matter of seconds. It's now parsing through this document to be able to extract the information and put it into a table format. And so again, we can also insert a column to the right-hand side and say, show me the percentage difference. We can we can ask the same sort of question to apply to exclusions. We can do the same thing. We can also actually ask it to discover potential coverage gaps right now as well too. So the opportunities are endless right now. We can really we can do a whole lot with this. You can almost ask it anything that you want. How are defense costs treated? How should I handle these? I'll use the example, Tony, because my dog bit someone. Do I have coverage? Again, not intended to explicitly adjudicate this specific claim, but intended to help the adjuster or somebody be able to parse through a potential document. So now what it's actually saying, it says, hey, by the way, in these two policies, go look at landlord coverage, landlord liability coverage F. There is a limitation of certain breeds of dogs. By the way, there's a $50,000 limit for specified breeds. Here you go. Now go ahead and check this out. And by the way, here are the reference areas where you could actually go find that. Of course, we know that all claims are different, right? And of course, we know that the facts of every claim has its nuances. But again, this is intended to help somebody, help increase their, I would say, efficiency to be able to kind of go through this, not to, I would say, be kind of construed with adjudicating specific claims back, because we know it's all different in the court of law. So I thought I'd show this very briefly. We could ask questions all day long across this. Here we asked it on 2 documents. Again, we can come back and parse through a variety of different things, quotes, binders, policies, compare binders to the actual policies and so forth. But it's we have a lot more, I would say, things in the pipeline to be able to bring this to market in a broader way. We're already in market. We're already working with a number of different customers and really working with AI technologies that is candidly just a couple hours old in many cases. And so it's a fun time, and really using AI to make the insurance industry a lot more efficient.
If I remember anything from my CPCU 12, 13 years ago, 12 and a half years ago, is, and I've never been a policy language wonk in any way, shape, in any stretch, but I had to learn a bunch of policy language or how it's interpreted for CPCU. And if I remember anything, it's that because of the legal history, because it's a freaking contract ultimately, right? Regardless of what the commercial says, the contract is what matters, right? And because that contract has evolved over time and being tested in court, and then had to be updated and updated and updated and updated, and because of the legal world that insurance lives in the US, it's not because we want to confuse you. Like, we wish it was simpler, right? But the end result is often, very often, we give you coverage in page 1, then we modify it in page 6, then we take it away in page 17 if you miss a comma, right? Like if you fail to do X, right?
Right.
Is it able to keep track of all of that and give me a final-ish answer without spending an hour of my lawyer's time at, however many hundreds of bucks an hour he's going to charge?
100%. So we have it now where we capture all the different endorsements that are in there as well too. And so we've asked it very complex, I would say, policy language, say, summarize this for me. We've asked it, tell me what this endorsement actually says. We've asked it, hey, what are all these different exclusions and what do they actually mean, right? So we do capture all of that information. And so, yes, it's a complex, I would say, AI tool right now as we speak, that's able to take everything from insurance contracts to reinsurance contracts to you name it, right? To take the initial quote and make sure that what's actually on the quote is actually what's actually sold in the policy as well. So yeah, we do go through a lot, I would say, coverage interpretation to be able to make sure that we can, again, help, right, folks within kind of, I would say, the chain of insurance, not to replace, but to help supplement their efforts and enhance their efficiency. Because at the end of the day, we all know that time is money. And so the more time somebody is spent on reviewing policy, servicing policy, going through all the dense different contracts whenever they can be out talking to clients, servicing clients, building relationships, helping them out, solving their risk management problems, right? And then use a tool to be able to help those efforts. Now we're kind of in a different game, all right? Because time is money, and we're able to ultimately increase our revenue and help drive efficiencies at the end of the day too.
So really, the idea, this doesn't replace you as the agent and your critical thinking and your E&O is going to be equally pissed off at you if they have to pay a claim because you got lazy.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
but it should take what was, I don't know, because I've never been an agent, it's hard for me to put times on it, but what was an hour of somebody's time, your account manager's time, or somebody's time in dotting all the T's, crossing all the I's, making sure that we're compliant, that we did everything right, and turned that into a 6-minute checklist plus AI process.
That's exactly right. I mean, I talked to a broker at a decent sized shop just 2 days ago, actually, or on actually, yeah, on Friday of last week. And now today's Monday. And so what we actually did is he goes, Aaron, I spent 8 hours preparing a proposal for a client last week. And I said, well, let's go through a couple of scenarios that we could actually have on here. And in less than 10 minutes, we had everything completed that would have ultimately gone in that. So you can take a full day's work and literally condense it, depending on what you're ultimately going for, right, into a matter of seconds, minutes, in many cases, to be able to go through dense contracts and pull out the relevant information that you ultimately need. So again, it's a major efficiency play. As a whole, I worked with somebody that said that they spent 16 hours going through 12 to 15 different policies to be able to put together one comprehensive program. So let's do it. Let's upload all those in here and see what we can actually do. And again, in less than 10 minutes, we were able to parse through all of those different documents and now start to create summaries of each one of them. And now you know what's actually going into it. So again, you can take 16 hours in this case and parse it down into minutes as well. Again, starts to change the game. Imagine those 2 days that that gentleman could have spent going out, talking with clients, servicing clients, generating new revenue as well.
All right. Normally, I ask about implementation. In this case, it seems to me that you don't really have to plug into anything.
No, it's
Like upload the PDF, ask it
from
questions.
literally, Tony, from sign up to your first, I would say, answer, we pride ourselves on being able to do that in less than 60 seconds. So it will take you anywhere between 10 to 15 seconds to actually sign up. Then the bulk of that time under the 60 seconds takes you the time to actually find the document to actually upload. And so once you get that uploaded to your first answer of summarizing the actual policy, you can have an actual from sign up to an actual answer in less than 60 seconds. And it's all based in the cloud right now. So anywhere you are, we do it all from, you can do it from your phone. So everything is mobile responsive. We also have it on the computer, and really you can upload as many documents as you potentially want to be able to have in the system and be able to go through everything that you want at any given time.
Okay, this is a bit of a devil's advocate question, but why don't I just upload my 2 policies to ChatGPT?
I
Right,
love it,
maybe the
man.
paid version of ChatGPT, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ask it the same questions.
I love it. So the way that we actually look at it is almost like you're playing the orchestra. You've got a lot of tools that are out there, right? ChatGPT, OpenAI being one of them, right? You've got Anthropic, you got Mistral, you got a lot of different ones. And so I would almost argue that LLMs, right, the large language models, are almost commoditized at this point. So they're all quite similar on that standpoint. But now what we actually do is we take the best of OpenAI, we take the best of another platform, we take a best of another platform, and then we try to put it all together to focus on the insurance channel as a whole. And so what we've done is now we're able to go through it and have different reference links that are in there. We actually have done that as well, where you go directly to the open source OpenAI and try to be able to generate some of the same answers that we've got, and we have misses to varying degrees. And so again, I would say our focus area is a genuine specialization on the insurance space. It's a specialization in being able to kind of understand the different workflows of the insurance industry as a whole. It's knowing what to look for in the document. And then we also do, Tony, a lot of, I would say, the term in the AI industry is prompt engineering, right? It's effectively asking the appropriate questions. we do a lot of prompt engineering behind the scenes right now to be able to ask it a simple question like I just asked it, and then get the responses that we ultimately want. And so we're able to also keep logs of all the information. We keep all the threads in the chats. We can compare the multiple documents, which we haven't seen other open systems be able to do either. And so again, it's being able to put all the different pieces of the puzzle together to create the most, I would say, kind of a comprehensive AI-focused insurance tool out there.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're guaranteeing the client that it won't hallucinate.
Correct. And so that's one of the big things that we actually do. It's always hard to say the word guarantee at any given time, right, in the AI space. So I do say that with a little bit grain of salt, but I will say that we do a lot of work on hallucinations to be able to prevent a lot of hallucinations. So that's another big differentiator that I would say from the other direct open source platforms as a whole too, is that we do a lot of work on the hallucination front. We also, if there is an answer that may be tweaked or adjusted, we also retrain the model. So it's getting smarter and smarter every single day as well in terms of how often people use it. It gets smarter. If there's an answer that may not be appropriate that they don't like, we can log that and then retrain the model as well very quickly. So yes, we do spend a lot of time on the hallucinations as well and making sure that that doesn't come up in terms of how we actually operate as well.
Okay. What's the pricing like? Is
Yeah,
it
so
the kind of thing that only makes sense if I'm Gallagher, Marsh, Aon Willis, and otherwise out of reach? What's the pricing like?
yeah. So pricing is actually extremely economical. The way that we actually do this is on a per user per month basis. No long-term contracts. If you want to sign up and get it for 30 days, you can go ahead and sign up and get it for 30 days. And so the way that we actually do it is that it's about $50 per user per month. So for about the time of 1 hour's attorney, right, you could literally have access to Brightside for an entire year. And so again, this is, I would say, kind of the early opportunity for a lot of our early customers to be able to get in at this stage, get in at the ground floor, get in terms of being able to operate and use Brightside, use AI that's literally hours old, working with kind of the latest cutting edge tools and technology. And so the pricing, again, we look at it as, if I could free up, you almost have immediate ROI. If you can have 1 hours of an attorney or an accountant or somebody else, and you get access to a full year of being able to interact with your insurance policies and talk with it at any given time, it's almost turns into a no-brainer to be able to help increase their efficiency and revenue.
And with no integration, basically means that Tony the producer or Tony the account manager can literally buy access. I mean, you'd probably get in trouble eventually, but from your perspective, like you don't need you don't need the entire office to sign up.
That's correct. That's one of the big things that we're doing, is that if Tony wants to be more efficient in his job, Tony can be more efficient in his job and use Brightside. If so-and-so doesn't want to do it, they don't have to do it, right? So they have that choice to be able to actually use it and leverage it. And so that's one of the big things that we're finding as well, is that, hey, you know what? You might have early adopters of AI that sit here and say, I love it and I want to use it. And then you might have somebody else that says, hold on a second, I'm not too sure about this yet, right? Then we say, well, give it 12 or 24 or 36 months, and the whole world is kind of moving in this direction, right? But then they'll be able to kind of pick it up. So yes, anybody at any given time could use it. Any user, the account manager could use it, and the producer over here could use it. And so, but it doesn't mean it has to be everybody. So that's why we do it on a per user per month approach, which we kind of feel aligns better, I would say, with some of the overall goals that organizations and people are trying to reach.
What features, abilities, skills, I don't know what you guys call it, what's new that's coming down what will be available next month that you can already talk about that it's not yet in the product?
Yeah. So I would say the fact that we're able to really, I would just say we're fine tuning the model in a sense to be able to get better and better results. Over time, we anticipate being able to interact with all the documents that are in the system right now. Right now, we actually can do that. But I would say right now we can compare 2 and 3 documents together. But just imagine you have 50 documents that's in the pipe and you want to find XYZ question out of all of those documents. Now, let me just ask that question. So there's different elements. We're working on things like that, right? We're working on just really being able to increase the efficiency of the system, right? We're trying to work on being able to make sure that we can integrate directly with the different agents or the users of it. We're actually working on a Chrome extension right now. So if somebody has Chrome and they want to embed a Chrome extension, it can literally just meet them where they are within their agency management system. And so we'll be working on integrations with different agency management systems over time as well too. So really, again, you're kind of meeting them where they are. So I would say it's again early innings, so really ripe for a lot of opportunity. The early users and adopters also have a big opportunity to help shape the direction in terms of the tool and in terms of say, hey, I would actually like this. We're taking all that feedback very personal right now, and we're developing the software and the technology. We never like to build software in a box, right? We want to solve the problems that the users and customers are ultimately facing. So if we intimately understand them, then we'll develop technology in accordance with that. So again, I say that from the standpoint of it's a ripe opportunity to be able to kind of develop as we speak with those early customers and continue to enhance the product a lot more.
All right. If a listener wants to see you guys in person, will you guys be at InsurTech Hartford, InsurTech Insights New York, or where might we find you guys at the trade shows?
Yeah. So right now at the trade shows, we're actually kind of, I'd say, in the early innings of starting to hit all of these right now. We just went to the Independent Insurance Agents of Houston about last week. We're looking at WSIA right now as we speak too. We're looking at InsurTech Connect that we'll be looking at getting there as well too. But I say all this because we'll be at the trade shows and we'll be at the different conferences. But at the same time, I am easily and readily available. So anybody could go to www.britesideai.com and be able to find more information on our website. They could reach out to me directly at Aaron@britesideai.com as well. And again, just any email, reaching out directly on the site. They can also sign up, right? So any user can go ahead and sign up for free and they get their first 3 documents free. So it is a risk-free trial right now for anybody that wants to be able to sign up. So they could actually see it in action. And we believe so strongly in our product that if you see it just 1 or 2 times, you will be able to kind of realize, hey, I could actually see a lot more efficiency on this, and let me actually try it again.
So agents, grab your hairiest, ugliest, longest, most complex program, upload the whole thing, and ask it the 10 toughest questions the client has asked you the last 3 renewals, and see how much time this would have saved you.
Yes. Yes, please do. Please do. We would,
All right.
we would actually love it.
That is awesome. But anybody, if you do that, comment below on how it went. Comment below. Let us know if it blew your mind, or call them out if
Please do. Please
more.
do. And that's one of the other big things I'll say is that I will not sit here and say it's perfect. We want the wins and we want the losses. And so when we see the losses is an even better opportunity to be able to fine tune the model too. So I will say, please do. I welcome the feedback, welcome the information, and want to really kind of be able to increase it to really make everybody's lives easier.
Aaron, thank you so much for your time today. Fantastic. It is not often that I'm blown away. I think 500 and some episodes, I've been blown away maybe 10 times. Yes, this looks very impressive. And again, I'm the wrong audience for it. I've never been an independent agent. But based on my understanding of that space, this looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to see you guys continue to grow. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, Tony, I appreciate it. I know you mentioned just kind of one last parting comment is just independent agents. And right now that's where we're starting, but very quickly helping claims adjusters and everybody else, underwriters and everybody else, I would say risk managers, everybody else in the insurance ecosystem.
For claims, yes, anybody that has to figure out coverage.
Right.
I mean, every claims adjuster that is listening will go, yes, right then and there, you're saving me, hours a day.
Yep.
Any claims manager, claims leader that's listening will go, that's scary, right? Uh,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
like, like I need to be 100% sure that decision, right? Like the last thing that a claims manager wants or a claims VP wants is that yeah, we're making claims determinations a lot or coverage determination a lot faster, and we're 6% less accurate. We end up
Right.
losing in court 6% more often. Right? Uh,
Right. Right.
penny
Right.
wise and pound foolish. So it has to be basically perfect.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
and for underwriters, it's interesting. So I enjoyed my time as an underwriter much
Yep.
more than I enjoyed my time as a claims adjuster. I was working with significantly more complex risks because as an adjuster, I was always personal lines underwriting. I did small commercial, and then I did middle market. In middle market, especially, uh, my UA Becky, who had been with Liberty for 30 years, she knew the answer to just about every question we ever got. She was a great
Right.
AI, basically,
Right. 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 Right.
a non-artificial AI,
Yep.
because she had 30 years of experience at Liberty. Uh, Me, not so much. I was there for 2 years. It was very much a control F experience, right?
Right.
Anyway, it was first like, hey Becky, and like if she wasn't around, like control F wasn't my start, right?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but I long story short, claims adjusters know how to read policy much better than underwriters, because
Right.
underwriters have, and same thing with agents, because underwriters have one set of policies that they write. Like all I wrote was Liberty Commercial,
Right.
different types of
Right.
business, but it was all Liberty Commercial. Uh, and a a claims adjuster has to worry about, was this covered in this specific version, right? Even if they're not an independent, and even if they work with only one carrier, they have to worry, was this covered in this particular version of the policy that we wrote in 2017,
Right.
right? Or am I used to the fact that it's covered, but actually, like they have to find it in the specific policy that this client has before they say yes, this is covered, or especially if they're saying no, this is not covered.
Right. Right.
So yes, yes, no, this uh boggles the mind how useful this might be.
Right.
Uh, Looking forward to have you back on the show as you move beyond the independent agency space.
Absolutely. Well, what I'd say, Tony, is that if there are claims adjusters or underwriters or anybody else listening as well, I would say it's the early stages. Please reach out. We're developing this and we're enhancing this tool each and every day. And so we are seeing applications and we're moving real quick. And so I would encourage all of them to reach out as well too. Start the conversations and let's see what we can build together.